Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio with your educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. I hope you're all well. In today's video, let's take a look at how you can manage and heal a stiff neck with natural and therapeutic tools. Well, a stiff neck, yes, it can be a pain in the neck. And it is the most common muscle ache among our children and adults. Common triggers may be a poor posture, maybe sports-related injuries, or exercise-induced triggers, repetitive work-related movements. But, even a strenuous household chore or landscaping can set up a stiff neck. So enjoy this video. To stay updated with my ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel, share and like it with your friends and families. Don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a new video. Have a look at our website, medicanova.net, at the Medica Nova Online Education Department, where you will find certified home study online courses in homeopathy, in health and wellness coaching, in mental health, positive psychology, integrative medicine, and so much more. While you're on the website, you can also subscribe to our monthly free newsletter. And if you have any questions, contact us at health@medicanova.net. So let's dive into how to heal a stiff neck. Well, neck pains often stem from the spinal cord and are caused by certain, usually temporary, changes in the nerve signals. So it's not just related to the neck. It's a little bit more complex. The neck is highly susceptible to stiffness, to strains even, to tightness, because of its mobility, right? The range of motions, there's only a certain amount there, and the vital role it plays also in supporting the head through everyday movements. We call also the neck the bridge between heaven and earth. So, the head representing the heaven and the body, the earth. The intensity of a stiff neck depends on the person and the cause of the pain. So some only experience a mild, stiffness. Others, the whole thing becomes a chronic condition, and even surgery is maybe, implicated here. A stiff neck can be the result of an injury or a strain on the muscles and the ligaments of the neck. Let's differentiate between what's a strain and what's a sprain. So a neck strain is the result of damage to the tendons and the muscles or the ligaments that connect the muscle to the bone. Whereas a sprain, on the other hand, occurs when there's a tearing of the ligaments. You maybe experience it more with ankle injuries. Very easily the ligaments can tear here. Have a look at our symptoms. Well, as I said, some have only mild symptoms, but others it becomes more chronic. Most often the pains wax and wane, they come and go, definitely become worse with sudden movement or maybe poor posture, or you had a bad night's sleep. Usually there's soreness, pain involved, again this tightness, and people have a very hard time sort of moving their neck. There can be even trouble moving the neck without the pain. I've seen that as well, especially when you rotate the head or sort of roll the head, from your chin upwards. Difficulty getting comfortable when you sleep, of course, it's very painful. Tension headaches, can be shoulder pains. The pains can even radiate down into your arm or your fingers. You can maybe experience some numbness even, loss of range of motion, and even definitely sort of when you start placing your chin onto your chest, really painful. So what are the causes? Well, there are some circumstances which are already mentioned here, which can cause the stiff necks, but there can be underlying health issues. Maybe there is an infection going on, for example, but in the majority that's not the case. most episodes of short-term or acute neck pains or neck stiffness are more caused by muscle strain, right, or sudden movements to the spine or the head. There may be stress involved, and we will really focus on that here as well, like mental, emotional stress, or the muscle tension can be caused by other issues. But the most common causes of a stiff neck really have to do with fast, repetitive movements of the cervical spine, and that can be during exercise, lifting objects around the house, when driving or jerking the neck suddenly. You know, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we still have summer, so people roll down from the car their windows, and the draft is hitting your neck. That can cause a stiff neck. Very painful then the next day. The muscle strain around the neck and the shoulders. As I said, poor posture, sedentary lifestyle, holding the neck in sort of an abnormal position. You know, you see people having their phone in the neck and talking. That can cause it even. Reading, doing leisurely activities, exercising, or as I said, bad posture and sleep. I want to stress here the brachial plexus, we call it. It's a complex network of nerves responsible for sending signals from the spinal cord to the hand, the arm, and the shoulders. So the brachial plexus injury occurs when these nerves get compressed, they maybe get stretched or even torn apart. A minor injury of the brachial plexus can cause even these electric shocks, and they often hit you here in the occipital region then. But also there can be this feeling down the arm, these electric shocks, a burning sensation shooting down the arm. There can be maybe a sensation of numbness or weakness in the fingers. But often these pains start in the shoulders and then affect the neck. So that can be another one. Often it's also related to a herniated disc or bulge disc in general, particularly in the cervical area. Maybe have a look with your chiropractor to realign your atlas. There may be cervical degenerative disease. You have osteoarthritis, maybe. In general, your whole structure is affected, maybe spinal stenosis, or there can be even bone spurs. High level of stress and anxiety, 100% can cause a stiff neck. It causes the muscles to contract, lots of muscle tension is there, and even stressing about the pain, right, can even make it worse, and it's just a double whammy here. So the shoulders muscles tend to react to physical as well as emotional tension, leading then to the strain around the neck. Poor sleep, general lack of rest, lack of sleep can cause that even. Lack of rest and relaxation. All of that can just contract the muscles within your body. But even bad habits like chain smoking, right, or a bad diet. So you want to think about here introducing an anti-inflammatory diet here can contribute to this condition. High levels of inflammation caused by this combination, and then we talk about the combo of sedentary lifestyle, not a nutritious diet, maybe smoking, maybe you're exposed to toxins, environmental toxins, underlying health conditions such as infections, maybe you just had a cold and a flu. But also we have a condition called torticollis. It's a rare, more neurological disease, but literally you couldn't move your head to one side anymore. And I will show you today and share with you some great homeopathic remedies how to meet that. You can do that. Of course, underlying situations can be maybe meningitis, subarachnoid hemorrhage, posterior fossa tumor, but that's not what this video is about. We want to really home into this general common stiff neck and how to treat that from the comfort of your home here. But often a stiff neck, can end up in high headaches and this persistent back pains even. If you're interested in a health consultation, either for yourself and or your children, contact me at Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net. Medica Nova, my practice for integrated and educational medicine. Here we offer a unique blend of natural cutting-edge therapeutic tools from homeopathy, iridology, sclerology, systemic herbology, advanced biofeedback and health and wellness coaching, and so much more. Book your appointment today. If you want to explore more about yourself, your wellness vision, what motivates you, and how to apply your strengths in achieving the very best of you, contact Medica Nova Wellness Coaching at health@medicanova.net for your 3 months coaching program. I am coaching you to be well. Let's move on to our second part of this video, food for thought. I talked about stress, emotional tension can create a stiff neck. So let's dive a little bit deeper. What's the story behind it? In here, I really invite you today to look within. Who out there is causing you a pain in your neck? Is it your spouse? Is it your work relationship? Is it too much on your plate? What causes you this pain in the neck? So I always go to Jacques Martel's references here, and he speaks about the nape of the neck. So that's really this part of the neck is the region of my body through which all energy, like waves, must pass to spread throughout my whole body. The nape of my neck is at the top of my spine. The spine is my body's structural support. So the nape of my neck is thus the pivot of my head, right? That's where we move from side to side or, up and down. It enables me to consider all the facets of a situation. If it is subtle, I can be completely open to the world that surrounds me and face its requirements, right? You're not restricted. There's no stiffness there. It corresponds to my self-confidence. If I suffer or see an injustice, the nape of my neck will react likewise. So I may find myself at a moment in life when I don't know which way to turn, right? You're at a crossroad. Should I go left? Should I go right? What's the best situation here or decision? There are many surprises and unexpected incidents can be often in the family environment also, and I tend to act maybe like the martyr. A stiff neck is a clear sign of a refusal or congestion of energy, right? You're stuck. The head can no longer turn in different directions. I may feel I'm lacking support, and I tend to be quite stubborn and rigid in my perspective or my thinking, right? That's why you get the stiff neck. And in my way in general, and I just want to have my way here, right? It's a little bit too rigid. And this leads me to be passive, trying to avoid moving forward and taking action, which just adds to the situation. I must give free rein to these various thoughts that block my head and that only want to be carried out by my desires or my ideas, which risk remaining at the stage of projects or impractical dreams. So they can be just sort of ear castle dreams, but they never come into manifestation. So if the nape of the neck as a pivot rests on values and principles external to me, it will be rather weak, right? So go within, really look at your confidence, see, how to find or make the right decision for you, for your highest good. So the nape of my neck enables my head to survey different life options or landscapes that lie before me. I must look lovingly at these different landscapes without criticizing them, quite freely, as the river, as the water flows in the riverbed. There can be a perpetual sort of like to and fro rhythm, but it's all flowing in one direction. There's no constraint and no restriction. So what would be the positive affirmation here? Well, it always starts with accepting different situations and sensations that come to me, and allow me to learn that I can flow freely. I also accept all the riches that I have inside of me. I no longer have to worry about what others think of me even. I'm now fully conscious of the extensive potential that inhabits me. You see, it's like often we have belief system that we build up that I'm not good enough, what other people think about me. Well, if I leap into that direction, will it work out? What about my financial resources? All of that. I mean, we have all these 60,000 thoughts a day, right, in our head, and they define us. But with a stiff neck, it's just really about time to go within, have a meditation, use your breath to really open up your chest, your clavicles, connect with your neck again. Also with your, almost imagine like a string connecting you to the heavens, and you are safe. You can freely move again and then make the right decisions. So what are the holistic treatments? Well, if it's a really painful situation, I would ask for help. I would go to a chiropractor or somebody who deals with physical therapies to open up the constricted muscles. Then you can look on Google for specific neck exercises or pain relieving exercises. Have a look at your bed, your pillow, right? Are you really enjoying a proper sleep? What's your posture like? I talked about diet, right? If you're living on processed food, you will create inflammation within the body. So have a look for anti-inflammatory diet, which of course is not processed food, is life-affirming, vegetables. You can have meat, you can fish, you can all of that, but it has to be fresh. Manage stress, as I said, with mindful exercises, but maybe you have to also look for natural muscle relaxants and supplements. Stress raises inflammation within the body and muscle tension, and so we want to have a overall holistic treatment protocol. So we talked about the symptoms, the causes, the mental, emotional stress situations, the story behind it all, lifestyle changes. And when it comes to remedies, I believe homeopathic remedies are most effective here, because they not just deal with the sort of pain management, but actually look at the cause of the situation. And that's what we want, because we want to create a lasting result here. When you have osteoarthritis or herniated disc, you need a specific remedies, and that's what homeopathic remedies do. So to book your appointment, contact Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net or contact your healthcare practitioner. I'm careful with dosage plan because, of course, I don't know your individual story, but the potency 30, which is the number behind the name, you can take one tablet 3 times a day for adults, maybe for 3-4 days, see how it works, and when improvement sets in, stop taking any more tablets. But for chronic conditions, of course, you need professional help. Let's focus on the first remedy called Rus toxicodendron. I will write down while I'm talking the name so you can read it and you can refer to it. You can find these remedies online, so it's not a problem, or in your local health food store. 30C is a good potency to start with. So let's talk about Rus toxicodendron. It's the top-rated homeopathic remedy for neck pain or stiff neck. It's sort of like indicated for neck strain, overuse of neck muscles. We talked about sports-related injuries, wear and tear of structures. Maybe there is spinal sort of structural misalignment going on, repetitive stress or of the neck muscles, muscle spasms in the neck, right, from overlifting, maybe heavy weights, injuries to the neck. We talk about whiplash injuries, car accidents, but I will share another remedy with you in a minute about that, which we can combine, carrying heavy weights on the shoulders. There may be the keynote here is marked stiffness. Stiffness means you can't move your neck. And it can be maybe pain along with the shoulders. So you know that could have been caused because you were sleeping in the wrong position. That is perfect for Rus-Tox. Now, the keynote here also is people needing these remedies. They experience this pain on the first movement. So maybe you get out of bed and say, oh my God, here it is again. But as the day, progresses and you get along with that, it eases off. That means continued motion makes it better. Also maybe warm application, right? Maybe sometimes a heat pack or a cold pack, a little massage to ease off the muscles can be very indicative for this remedy. But the keynote is high stiffness, and then you have this pain on the first movement, but better on continued movement. These are the magic words you need to look for in order to select the appropriate homeopathic remedies, because I will share with you quite a few. And as soon as you start matching your symptoms with the correct symptomatology of the remedy, it will work, right? It's very straightforward. We talked about a situation where these pains can even end up in electrical shocks. And here the remedy is Simicifuga racemosa 30. Fantastic remedy. The neck feels very tense, very contracted, sore, sensitive to touch. Pressure maybe worsens the symptoms. The motion of the head aggravates the head pain. Yes, I've seen that. And here we can talk about degeneration or wear and tear in the neck structures. And that's why we have then the electrical shocks into the occipital area. Works very well. I had it myself once, and it's a beautiful remedy because it's very specific for this situation. We talked about sports-related injuries, and here Arnica montana is a very common homeopathic remedy, is really appropriate. Here I even would bring in the potency 200. So you have a potency, take Arnica montana, 1 tablet, 200C, 3 times a day, maybe for 2-3 days, and then follow it up with the appropriate remedy, maybe Rus-Tox, right? 1 tablet 3 times a day for another 3 to 5 days as needed or requested. So Arnica montana works for injuries, and that can be from a fall, from a blow, overstraining of the neck muscles. Maybe you had a heavy sort of yoga session, right? This kind of, on the neck just feels sore and bruised. So you know it's coming from an overstrain. But if you feel like then there is maybe a herniated disc involved, or you go to your chiropractor and he says, well, your atlas is out of place and constantly goes in and out, Rus-Tox may be a good remedy to hold that, treatment, because that's often what happens. With Arnica, I would say, where with the injury, the cervical muscles feels quite weak, right? And it's just very sore and pain. So arnica will help the recovery. It speeds up the recovery of bruised muscles and the neck strain in general. Now, remember with Detox, you have this keynote. The first movement is really bad, but continued movement makes it better. While we have another remedy called bryonia, where the keynote is exactly the opposite, where every little movement makes the neck pain worse. It doesn't matter what it is, right? There is no improvement. You have to stay still. Maybe that neck pain then induces an occipital headache, which then creates a migraine, and all you can do is lie still in your bed, maybe have the light dimmed down because it maybe doesn't help your migraine. So total rest is the only situation which makes it better, and bryonia will work on this situation and will heal the neck pain very fast and very well. I also mentioned that a stiff neck can affect our back muscles, and here we have a remedy. It's not an easy name to say, guaiacum and guaiacum. That's really, I have to spell it out for you. And it's a remedy which works on the stiffness from the nape of the neck, but then the pains extend down to the lower back, the scapula in general. And stiffness worsens also from cold, and the neck pain is present, can be on both and left side, and extends to the head. So if you feel like the neck pain is related also to the lower back, then this is a good remedy to think about. You maybe heard about wry neck. That is when you move your head to one side and then can't straighten it. We call it torticollis. And we have a great remedy called Lachnanthes, 30C for that. It's when the stiffness and the pain becomes sort of locked in and you can't move it up anymore, the head. Bending the head backwards is really painful, for example. As I said, it's called torticollis, and Lachnanthes is fantastic. We also talked about the situation when the neck pain or the stiffness can affect or radiate down the arms, even to your fingers. Now, the pain in this case can particularly affect the fourth and the little finger. So that's your keynote here. Sensations such as weakness, prickling, tingling in the arms may be felt. The neck muscles feel very sore and tender to touch, and the pain, of course, worsens with movement. It's a great remedy called Calmia, which takes away this pain which radiates down into your fingers and your arm. Another one we have called Gelsemium sempervirens 30C, easy remedy, you can get it anywhere. That's also effective for cases for stiff headaches when you have an infection, a flu coming on, muscular pains in the necks are very marked, shoulders are sore. It's almost like your whole muscle structure is now sort of like, it's just sore, right? Because you have a flu. Can even experience some dizziness or some vertigo with that, right? They feel just sort of can be the second stage of a flu, right? And you feel like, oh my God, I'm just sick and I have this stiff neck now and the muscles are aching. Gelsemium is a great remedy for that. I want to share 2 more remedies today with you. This is a remedy you might not get in a health food store. You have to order it online, called Paris Quadrifolia 30. And here the keynote specifically is that the stiff neck causes numbness in the fingers. Isn't it amazing that we have all these remedies for these specific situations? You can't find that with traditional medicine. But here, the neck feels painful, stiff and swollen, and the person feels as if there's a heavy load on the head. And again, the pains radiate down into the fingers, but then we have this numbness, it's specific. I talked about whiplash injuries, right? In a way that can be from an accident where now the nerves are really affected. And here I would suggest hypericum. Hypericum is a wonderful remedy. Key features that indicate its use are intense pain in the neck with extreme tenderness. The neck and the upper limbs are also sensitive to touch, and the slightest movement of the arm or neck intensifies the pain. What would I do with a whiplash? Well, I would start with Arnica 200, right? Because we have a shock. We have bruising going on. So I would start with that, 200, maybe 3 times a day, or maybe for 3-4 days. Alleviate first the shock impact. And then if you feel like the stiff neck is caused by the whiplash, or whiplash was diagnosed, hypericum would be a good remedy to follow it up in a way, I think so. But also don't forget here, Rustox. If you feel like you have, out of the whiplash, suddenly we now have a chronic situation, that maybe there is a spinal misalignment going on, right? It sort of goes from an initial injury to the whiplash to suddenly we have something chronic, then follow it up with the indicated remedies which I just shared with you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you see that there are lots of beautiful solutions out there which you have access to. They're affordable. They don't cost you an arm and a leg here, and you can very much heal and manage your, in this case, stiff neck with very effective therapeutic tools. You can be your own doctor here in a way as best as you can. Have a look at our website, medicanova.net. If you want to learn more about it, go to Medica Nova Online Education, where you find certified home study online courses, as I said, in homeopathy, positive psychology, mental health, health and wellness coaching, and so much more. In fact, we have a national board certified home study course, 8 weeks course about positive psychology and mental health, which gives you continued education, 12.5 points. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you look for continued education, here it is. Contact us at health@medicanova.net for more information. Until next time, much love. Take care.